Hello and welcome to another edition of the Brooklyn Baby Podcast with me, your host, Charlene Sapp. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Today, we made it through another week. God is great. Life is lifing and life is great, even though life is lifing sometimes. Well, I told you all last week, that this week's episode was going to be about the single life. I'm living a single, in my cameo voice. When you know. For those of you who are my age or around my age bracket, give or take several years, cameo. That was my first concert with my friends in high school back in the 80s. Cameo in not Madison Square Garden. That was Bobby Brown the year after. It was Madison Square Garden. No, it was Radio City Music Hall. Cameo had a concert, and Mickey Howard was also part of the concert ticket, first concert. Anyway, well, today's episode is about the single life. Now, let me be clear. Let me just address the elephant in the room. I cannot stand it when it seems like you're shamed for being single. Now, single could mean just not married, but you could still be in a relationship and still be technically single. However, the way I roll at this particular point in my life, I have this expression given to me from a friend in the past. And she used to say to me, and excuse my language, she used to say, if there's no ring on my finger, there ain't shit to talk about. It makes sense. I'm 54 years old, and I started to use this expression, this mindset, as soon as she told me about it. I would say approximately 8 to 10 years ago. And basically, and I'm not bashing anyone who's in a relationship and say, my man. But for me and the people I roll with, unless you have like a special, like long-term something and y'all locked in, living together and all that stuff, that's different. But for people who are just like, this is my man, but for me as a woman, until a man puts a ring on my finger, there's nothing to talk about. There's nothing to talk about. So you're not going to hear me talk about a boyfriend, which I don't use that word at my grown age. I say man friend. No, doesn't mean I don't got nothing going on or people don't have anything going on. But for me, I don't claim any person. And at this point in my life, you're not going to see no pictures, nothing on social media, no claiming until we have a ring on that finger. And blame it on things that I've experienced in my life, observations, things that I know other people that I've known have gone through. But until there is a ring on the finger, we are not claiming any man. So that's the one thing I want to say. Excuse my system might be blocking out my sound a little bit, my AC. Anyway, so that central AC is central AC. Okay, but anyway, in addition to that, I wanted to say that let's not put that on people. If a person's single, and the way I see society and things going on now, it's treacherous out there. We got women running around like men. And when I say running around like men, like doing really treacherous, deceitful things, pretty much rolling like a dude. Let me just call it, and people can get mad and say, oh, that's sexist, misogynistic. This is just my opinion. I'm entitled to it. And I'm hearing stories about what men are going through with women, what women are going through with men. And I know for me, and I credit my parents who never made my sister or myself feel like you have to be married, you have to have children, you have to have this. Do not project it on people. And I just stopped asking people whether they're married or single. When are you going to have kids? Because you don't know what someone's going through with their body. Maybe they can't have kids. Maybe they don't want kids. A relationship, you don't know what person has going on in their personal life. Maybe they don't want to share with you. Maybe they are going through something with someone romantic. I don't know, but I just learned to just mind my business and not ask questions about pregnancy prospects, relationship prospects. Just mind my damn business. Just mind your business. That's just for me. That's just the way I roll. Again, I luckily raised by family who didn't make us feel that we were less than. If we got married, great. If not, that's okay too. But I'm liking my single life. I'm telling you, the right to be selective, not locked in. And the older I get, I'm set in my ways. But don't project that on people. I just, there's some people you always talk and they always, like, they feel bad for you because you're single. You don't know my story. And I'm telling you, yes, I had, and I think I shared another podcast episode. Yes, with my son's father and another person, two opportunities to be a wife, and I chose not to take it. I chose not to take it. Now, let me be clear. My son's father, it was a broken engagement, gave him his ring back, and the person after that, well, years after that, was a person using the marriage word and the hopes of kind of something my mother and I used to talk about. She used to always circle back. Remember, he wanted to marry you. That's how deep that was. Even though that particular situation there was no ring, I did not want to go further with that person either. So you don't know what a person's story is, and I'm just the type of person. Do not put that on me. You know, some people, as soon as you talk to them, every time they're worried about your being single. If I'm not worried about it, my family's not worried about it. Why are you worried about it? And I'm going to be honest with you, fully transparent. The more I see what's going on with the nature of relationships, I don't want to be a wife. I really don't. And it's not for me. I used to toy around about it years ago, but I would say for the past 10 years, maybe more, I'm just like, I don't know. No, I know what that's not what I'm looking for. But I do like being able to do what I want to do with who I want to do it with when I want to do it. I do like variety. I do like just being able to connect with people without the attachment. Because when you connect with people, I might decide, friend zone. We make good friends. The more I realized that about as I got older and just sitting to talk to people and really listen, I realized many people I don't even want to be with. I'm like, they make a better friend if anything. Because people are coming with some stuff that will really rock your world and turn your life upside down. And then I got another news flash. If I could tell you how many married people have hit on me or in a DM or something, it's astounding. And when I talk to other people, they can attest to the same thing. A lot of men and women, they say people of the opposite sex are DMing them, hitting on them. So many married people. And I'm like, what are we doing here? You know, so the married people want to be single. And some marriage-minded single people wish they were married, but then when they get married, they wish they were single. What are we doing? And then the nature of society these days, relationships, I sleep so peacefully at night. And if I want to go out with someone, I have the option to go out with someone. If I want to, but without having a connection, now let me be clear. Among these connections or whatever, if someone came along that I'm like, yeah, I think I'll pursue something with him, so be it. But that has not happened. And I'm not saying the people that I've gotten to know and I get to know and might have a dinner date with or grab a drink with are not upstanding. It's not for me. And that's okay. And I said to someone recently, I said, just because someone's nice does not mean you have to be with them. Just because someone's nice doesn't mean you have to be in a relationship with them. Just because you find someone attractive does not mean you have to be in a, there are people who are nice and attractive, but if I'm not feeling that inner je ne sais quoi, that inner spark, and that desire to want to settle with that person, I'm not. I'm not. And then I think about these days, when I really sit and think about all the tying up of funds and properties, and let's say, God forbid, if something needs to be undone, I don't have the bandwidth to do all that. I don't know if what you want to call it, but I like to pop in. I like to pop out. I like to do what I want to do and be unrestricted. Be like a little wildflower. Just do what I want to do when I want to do it. And it would take something really special for me to think otherwise. That's the end of story. So if you're wondering about me, what's my mindset on everything at this point in my life, I like popping in, popping out, doing what I want to do. The flexibility, the ability to call my own shots when I want to call it without being restricted. I don't like feeling restricted. And the older I get and more set in my ways, I don't want to be restricted. And I don't want to have to question anyone. Let me give you a little anecdotal story why I don't feel like I want to question anyone. There was a person, I'm not going to say his name. I had to block him. This was about 7, 8 months ago. Now this is 2025, September. This was around like October, November of 2024. So it's almost a year ago. Was it a year? No. Let me get it. Well, no, it was around December, January. Because around my son's birthday. So it was like end of 2024. I want to say January 2025. So that's about 8 months ago, 9 months ago. It was a person who I was seeing a couple of years prior. And we reconnected with the hope. And he was a little older. I date older people, older men. Good looking man, retired, about 12, 13 years older than me. Exactly what I like in a man. Good looking, established, everything. And we reconnected. And then he just started freaking me out. Like having demands. And then questioning so let me get this straight. When you're at work and you didn't think to call me during your break, it was like he was questioning and clocking me about everything like he was my daddy. I'm like, wow. And then his very possessive and demanding behavior became exacerbated, and it freaked me out. It was to the point where I remember talking to my son about it. I said on social media, I said, Mike, I think I need to block this person. And my son said, yeah, Ma, I think you need to. He was starting to talk crazy to me in these DMs on social media. Started to attack me on social media, send me these crazy texts. So I had to block his number on my cell phone, then block him. So I was like, wow, the time when I was really, maybe we could revisit whatever. And with this situation, let me also say, when I was getting to know him years ago, it was a nice Valentine's date. I had the chocolate flowers. He actually bought me a bouquet of chocolate flowers that were edible, wrapped in like some beautiful red foil, shaped like a bouquet of roses, but they were chocolate underneath the red wrapping. A big panda bear, which I think, do I still have it around here? Did I? I think I may have taken it to the recycling when I was decluttering. Yeah, I did take it to the recycling when I was decluttering earlier this summer. But and it was a nice steak dinner and everything like that. But let me just say, he and I, when we first tried to date 3 years prior, that's as far as it went, like dinners and outing. It never got intimate. I'm proud to say, not that that's anyone's business, but I'm at a place in life where I realize there's no rush to jump into the bed. There's no rush to do all that. And I'm so glad I took my time without making soul ties with this gentleman who seemed like he was crazy, possessive, older, possessive, retired man. He had a military background, and he was just very commanding and demanding with a strong presence. You know, He kind of put me in mind of, I guess, his General Honore in Louisiana. Like, he looked like that and was very commanding, and like, and he was also ex-military, I think former Marine. But he had that presence like the great military leader Honore, who was very in the forefront with the Hurricane Katrina efforts. Anyway, that's too much information. Now y'all in my business. But my point is, and I was drawn to that. And I'm so glad I took my time with that person, because had I like jumped into the bed with that person and been blown away by all these gifts and dinners and this, that, and the third, I might have made a decision that I would have really regretted and made a soul tie with a person I didn't need to make a soul tie with. So that's why I'm glad that as I've gotten older, I realize there's no need to jump into from go to A to Z so quickly. There's no need to move so fast. I'm really embracing in every aspect of my life being the CEO. I can promote, demote, fire, hire in any aspect of my life, career, businesses, friendships, relationships, and I embrace that. I embrace that. And in this particular situation with this gentleman, I said, boy, I got to talk to myself in third person. They said, that's what us crazy people do. I said, Charlene, you really dodged a bullet. I'm glad. I said to myself, I'm glad, girl, you took your time. You didn't jump into bed with this man. You took the niceties, the gifts, the dinners, and you kept it really cool, casual, friendly. Now, I know there was some kisses, but that's as far as it went. Nothing heavy, just other than kisses. But my point is, I took my time, and 3 years later, we circled the block on each other, and he just exposed the inner crazy. Earlier this year, late last year, earlier this year. I think it was earlier this year because it was around my son's birthday in January. And people wonder why I'm single. And he would have been the person that I was going to. I said, if I did decide to lock in, maybe it could be him. And then, whoo, child, I got other stories I could share with you, but that's the most recent, I think. Is that the most recent? Well, as far as something crazy going on. Yeah, that's the most recent as far as something crazy. Anyway, so here we are, September 2025, and this is, among other things, the reasons why I'm just in and I'm out. Boom, boom. I'll meet you here. I might meet you there. We're going to keep it surface. We're not getting in too deep. And it would take someone really like astounding for me to be like, and that's all I'm going to tell y'all about my business. Not anything else that's going on. But I like the flexibility. Do what I want to do. Not answering to anyone, but enjoying myself at the same time. And you can do that too. It's okay. Again, don't make anyone make you feel like you should be locked in unless you want to be locked in. Don't make anyone make you feel badly for being single. And like I just explained, there's so many layers to being single. You're single, like nothing going on. Or are you single, but you got something going on, but it's no face, no case? Because you don't know what people, just because you don't see somebody booed up, don't mean they don't got nothing going on. I'm here to tell you. Clock that. Yeah, I'm just being honest. Just because you don't see or hear, that don't mean someone don't have anything going on at all. Don't ever mislead yourself to thinking that. Okay, there's a lot of us single people, you don't see anything, but that don't mean we don't got anything going on. I'm here to tell you. Okay, so I'll just let it sit right there. I done told y'all too much already. And yes, let's stop normalizing, ostracizing people because you don't see anything going on. Oh, don't have a pity party. Don't no, please don't pity any of us, please. Like I said, you don't know what we got going on, and let's stop normalizing questioning people who don't have children. You don't know what someone's triggers are and what their journey was or is and what they got going on or maybe some past traumas. I just I said God has blessed me with the whole motherhood birthing, but that's not everybody's story. And I got to be I always learned early on, mainly through my mother, be cognizant and mindful of that, of people. And you don't want to make people feel badly. You don't know their situation, even with singleness, you know? And I think I pretty much said everything I had to say about the single life. I'm enjoying mine. I'm enjoying mine. I sleep so well at night and I'm in a great headspace. And when certain issues have occurred in my family in recent year and a half, 2 years, I was able to focus on those things and give it my all and not be emotionally pulled here or there. And it just worked for me in the headspace that I was in. And I guess the headspace that I needed at the time and still. Well, thank you all for being here. I just went on a rampage, told you too much of my business. But again, thank you for being here. And I'm still deciding what I think we're going to do one about food next week. I think that's what I had on tap. Something about something with food and culinary something. Anyway, we'll tune in so you can find out. All right. Thank you so much for being here with me. Those of you who are on a platform with just the audio, thank you. Those of you who are on a platform where you can actually see me, hey, hopefully you like the hair. Hey. Don't forget to hit that like, share, spread the word. Let's get my viewership up and my listenership up so we can make some additional coins. And all joking aside, thank y'all so much. All right. Bye, everyone.